our own seats here, just for the record. So, yeah. Jewel.
If I can, just to get back to Commissioner Justice's question about citizen initiatives. So what the charter requires for a citizen initiative is a petition signed by registered electors equal to at least 8% of the number of registered electors of the county at the time of the last general election. And then it goes on to state that no more than 40% of those registered electors may reside in any one at-large county commission district, and no more than 30% may reside in any one single-member commission district. So that's basically, your requirement for a citizen initiative. And one thing I will also just point out, I know that we're very used to at this point seeing state constitutional amendments that require a 60% threshold. Your charter is a majority, so 50% plus one.
Yeah, with all those percentages, no wonder we haven't had another effort to come forward.
I will tell you, on occasion, we'll get the question, and I know that many of you know that I work with the supervisor as well, and we will send out information to folks that just ask, what does it take? So those inquiries are made. I haven't seen one, obviously, come forward, but it's a big lift. I want to say that at the last general election that our registered voter count was north of 600,000, maybe like 620, 630. Don't hold me to that, but it was definitely more than 600,000. So, of course, we have a lot of registered electors here in Pinellas County.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions?
Well, and we're just having a good free-flowing conversation here, but it is interesting. I mean, we have very good quality people doing our constitutional jobs right now, but we don't have any qualifications that they have to check off on a box to do that. And so anyone can get elected as sheriff, or anyone can get elected well, I should ask the attorney before I say that, but we've had folks that don't have the same traditional qualifications. And it's also worth noting that every single one of the commissioners was an elected official in another capacity before. So it's not like, your neighbor Gus suddenly gets elected to, and I think that's what people thought were going to happen in Tallahassee, is that term limits, suddenly we won't have these career politicians, but we'll have my neighbor Gus suddenly be my representative, and that's exactly what did not happen. We had folks that were much more tied into the system, where they were connected to a professional association, or whether they were a politician in another role, or they were connected to a lobbying. It became much more that than what a citizen legislature, which people I think intended when they voted for term limits back then. And I had one other thing, but I've lost it. So
yes, okay. And clearly our unincorporated residents in our county don't have that opportunity to serve on a city commission in an effort to try to become a county commissioner. Not that everybody takes the same sequential process. Some people haven't served and become state legislators, or so I don't think there's one path fits all. And certainly, from my perspective, today was just for me to just start having that conversation. I think we need to have another workshop where we actually get into some of the details that we're comfortable with, but also because hopefully we'll have the other two commissioners that can participate in that discussion. If at the end of another workshop, we don't have 5 people that want to advance it to a commission meeting where we can have discussion, debate, and even a potential vote, then so be it. But I think I wanted to get the conversation started. I wanted to get it on everybody's radar, because clearly that's what most of our people want. And we have those numbers around the country, but those numbers exist right here in our own county. So the point I was trying to bring up when I asked Jewel about the plus another term, so whether I have 2 terms or 3 terms, anything we put forward is going to allow at least one more term. So it's irrelevant to me. If I have an 8-year term or I have a 12-year term, regardless of what we end up coming up with, you're going to have the opportunity for one more term. We're trying to deal with the big picture going forward, and at the same time deal with the transition of existing commissioners, which if we get locked up in that detail too much, then we lose the forest for the trees. And I think we need to have both conversations clearly. I think, Jewel, you said that. We need to have that. At the end of the day, we have to get detailed about what that proposal will look like. But I think really it's about that bigger picture of whether we want to have our residents have the opportunity to have a vote. That's what it comes down to. You may have an opinion. We all have different opinions, but I think at the end of the day, our residents had that opportunity, and it was, in effect, taken away from them. I think we owe it to have another opportunity. That's really my driver. Commissioner Gerard?
Thank you.
Well, I didn't know that you had your hand up. Sorry.
Yeah,
before.
because you weren't looking at me.